Hi friends, it's Sam, and today I'm going to show you how to make my vegan seitan tenders, otherwise known as vegan chicken. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. This is the place where I share easy, fuss-free vegan recipes, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade vegan chicken from scratch. How cool is that? Now, I know the idea of making your own vegan meat alternatives at home might seem a little bit intimidating, but I swear it's super duper easy. This recipe calls for just 8 ingredients, pretty quick and easy to assemble, so let me show you how it's done. So to make my recipe, I like to make it in a food processor, but if you don't have a food processor, you can also just make this in a bowl with a spoon and your hands, and it'll be easy peasy. So the first ingredient we're gonna need is Vital Wheat Gluten. Now every time I use Vital Wheat Gluten, I get asked if there is a gluten-free alternative. I'm afraid there isn't as far as I know. So if you're gluten-free, this is not the recipe for you. Vital Wheat Gluten can be found online. I'll post a link where you can find it on Amazon below, or you can get it in health food stores. I usually order mine online in bulk because then it just arrives at my door and it's super easy. So you need 1.5 cups of Vital Wheat Gluten straight into the food processor. Next, you're gonna need 300 grams of soft or silken tofu. This is the one I use. This entire package is 300 grams. Plop that whole thing straight into the food processor with the Vital Wheat Gluten. Now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. This will add a little bit of color, a little bit of flavor. Again, if you don't know where to get this ingredient, a lot of local grocery stores do seem to carry it now, but if you can't find it, health food store, Amazon, I'll put a link down below where you can get it. Next, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of vegetable broth powder or vegetable stock powder, or 1 vegetable bouillon cube. Any of those will work. Now this vegetable broth powder I'm using actually has a little bit of veggie bits in it, so you'll probably see those in my actual vegan chicken at the end. If you don't want that, make sure you get one that doesn't have any little colored bits in it. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And now we're just gonna mix it together. I'm just gonna mix everything together until it kind of starts to form a ball. So that's it. You don't want to over mix it because the more you mix it, the chewier it's gonna get. And I want to keep this vegan chicken nice and tender and juicy. So here we go. So grab your Vital Wheat Gluten again and just dust your clean work surface with a bit of Vital Wheat Gluten. And we can take this dough. You can see it's really quite tender and soft. And we can just take this guy out and dump out the dough. So now I'm just going to use a little bit more flour to dust the top as well. That's just because the dough is really sticky, so you want to stop it from sticking to your hands. So just gather the dough up into a ball. Grab yourself a knife. I like to use a big one because I find it easier, and cut it into 6 pieces. So I'm just going to cut it in half. And then each half I'm going to cut into 3 kind of even-ish sized pieces. So once you have your pieces, I've got 6 pieces here, you just kind of want to use your fingertips and press them out. If they get a bit sticky, just either flip it or dip your fingertips into the Vital Wheat Gluten. And then you just want to press it into kind of a chickeny kind of shape. So just use your fingertips and just kind of smush it a little bit. If you've made my vegan seitan steaks, I'll link that recipe below. That recipe is much, much firmer. These are called tenders for a reason. The steaks are quite difficult to roll out. You'll find that these vegan chicken tenders are super, super soft and easy and sticky. You can always add a little bit more flour if it's sticking to your fingers too much. So there we go. So there's my kind of like chickeny breast kind of shape. That just happens really easily. It doesn't really matter what shape it is. If you're picky about it, you can make whatever shape you want. Doesn't matter to me. Set that aside, do the next one. Great. So now I have my vegan chicken tenders ready to go in the steamer. So in order to do that, fill a large pot with a couple of inches of water, put your steamer basket on top and cover that with a lid and bring that to a boil.